Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Yankouski, and today we will talk about styling in Next.js. Our main goal for the session is to discuss built-in CSS support in Next.js. We will take a look at two approaches, CSS-in-JS and CSS module. And finally, we will take a look on how those styles are applied to the DOM. Okay, let's start. We have already a predefined project with a single index page, which returns just hello string, and the single script to run our application in dev mode. Okay, so on this session I want to implement a timer component and stylize it. I do not have it yet, but let's render it and import it in advance. We will put it into components folder, so let's import it from there. Components timer. Okay, now let's create components folder where we will put all our React components and create our timer.js component. Let's create timer component and export it using named export as we already import in the same way. We will need useEffect and useState hooks for implementing our timer. Let's create state for our time. It will be just int and default value will be 0. Okay. As we are gonna use setInterval function, it's side effect, so let's put it inside useEffect hook, and inside that function we will increment our time state. Okay, let's increment it each 100 millisecond, and do not forget to return unsubscribe function to clear interval when our component is unmounted, and add our dependencies. Okay, cool. Let's return our markup. We will use div as our container. We will use paragraph for just adding title time, and we will use span to render our time. Okay, let's just check it out that it still works. Run our application in dev mode. Let's open localhost 3000. Okay, that works. Let's now add some styles to our component, and let's start with CSS-in-JS solution, and the simplest way to use it is using inline styles. Let's add just color to our paragraph. Okay, let's check it. Cool, that works. Another CSS-in-JS solution which is built in Next.js is styled-jsx. To use it, we need to add style tag with JSX attribute inside our React component and pass a string there with our CSS. Let's add here some CSS for paragraph and span elements. So we will add font weight for our paragraph component, and we will add color to our span component. Let's check it. Okay, that works. Okay, let's move on and try CSS modules approach. Now we will add some styles for our timer component. I will add class name attribute, but we'll leave it empty for now. Now we need to write our CSS. CSS modules is enabled only for files with the .module.css extension. So let's create it and create some styles for it. We will use just timer class name, and we'll add some CSS here. CSS modules locally scope CSS by automatically creating a unique class name. This allows you to use the same CSS class name in different files without worrying about collisions. So we added some styles to make our container a bit bigger, to increase our font size, and let's center our content inside our container. To use our CSS module, we need to import style object from there. All class names are just direct properties on this style object. So let's add our timer class to our timer component. Okay, let's check that it still works and our new styles are applied to our application. Okay, that works. Let's now check in DevTools how our CSS using different approaches is applied to the real DOM. Let's first find our timer container in our DOM. Okay, it's here. First we added inline styles and we see that it's here, so everything is expected. Also we see here an additional class name JSX- some random number. If we take a look in style tag, we could figure out that it's our styled-jsx. Keep attention that it's automatically scoped and JSX class name is attached to our p and span selectors. And we see that this JSX generated class name is added to all tags inside our timer component. On our div tag we also have timer class, which has postfix as well. Let's check this CSS in styles. Okay, everything is expected, and we see that CSS module scopes CSS as well, and there will be no collisions if we use same class names in different components. So all these approaches work for styling a component in a scoped and isolated way. By default, styled-jsx generates scoped CSS using auto-generated class name, as we see it here in our paragraph and span tags. But it's also possible to avoid that scoping by adding global attribute to our style tag. Okay, and as we see now, there are no additional auto-generated class names are added to our selectors, so styles will be global. In our HTML, there are still those auto-generated class names, but they do not affect styling at all, as there are no CSS or selectors for it. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next video.